Right, so Shalom, okay, fellow subscribers for the Swaka Sharpie 2 channel. I know it's been a couple weeks or so since the last time I uploaded a video, but I got caught up into some issues. Plus I wanted to let the video float for a while, But I wanted to go into the book of Romans, the 11th chapter and the 25th verse, because that's where we left off at. We finished up, I believe it was verse 24. We had finished up in the book of Romans, the 11th chapter. And we broke it down, ending on Psalms 14, verses 2 through 4, concerning the actual Gentile breakdown of Romans 11th chapter of the New Testament. Okay, letter from the Apostle Paul. Okay, so going into this will probably be the last video. We're going to end the Romans 11 series on verse 25 and give understanding of verse 25. So this will probably be a short video here, maybe 2 or 3 clips, 4 clips at the most. Okay, we'll see how the Spirit goes on this one. Okay, diabolically breaking down the scriptures, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, dealing with the word of the Lord as it is written. Okay, so we're going to jump right into the topic. Okay, and close it out on the last verse. Okay, as requested from a fellow Israelite / subscriber of ours. Okay, who wished for me and the brother Mashah, okay, to do the video, okay, on Romans 11th chapter, okay, about 6 weeks ago, okay, more or less. Okay, so let's go into it. Brother Mashah is going to read Romans chapter 11, verse 25 out.
For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceit, that blindness in part is happening to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in.
Right, so some other man within the nation of Israel brought this to my attention, and his breakdown differed from mine, in which he stated that, when it says that until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in, is referring only dealing with the Gentile participants in our church. So my thing is, well, that would cut your Revelation 7 and 9 doctrine for this man who brought in that Revelation 7 and 9 is done with all nations. Okay, because when you get the understanding, if you're trying to say Revelation chapter 7 verse 9 is dealing with all these Gentiles, the scripture speaks that that's an innumerable multitude. Okay, it's innumerable, I mean you can't number it. So if you're trying to say that the fullness of the Gentiles be fulfilled, you're trying to pinpoint a number on exactly how much of the actual Gentiles are supposedly and allegedly going to come into Christ and become Israelites spiritually and be joined unto the church of Christ through the nation of Israel. This is your fantasy. This isn't reality. The brother Mashah and I, we was teaching on Jamaica Avenue past this Saturday. And we ran, and as we were teaching, we were edifying brothers and one sister. Okay, we was edifying mainly brothers, taking heed to the word of the Lord. And then on came 2 Gentiles, okay? They were crackers, which we teaching are Edomites, children of Esau. So he said, to come to find out, they were Amalek, which we're teaching as a son of Esau, known as the so-called Jews today. All right, so she was an Israeli woman.
Yeah, come.
Okay, and the dude that she was with was just effeminate, and he really didn't say much. But she claims that she was a Christian. Okay. Come to find out, they didn't really know much about the Bible. They didn't really know much about anything. But there was one thing that this woman was sure of, and to show you that this is how the actual so-called white race really feel deep down inside. Okay, she was a retard. Okay, just to sum it up, because she didn't even know who the hell the prophet Daniel was. Okay, and she's an Israeli, and then she's calling herself a Christian, wearing tight pair of pants, looking like a damn ready to be bent over and be raped and ravished by a Hebrew Israelite man of the Lord.
Well, she was lusting.
Right, like a concubine.
Yeah, she's doing in Jamaica.
Right, because when she walked by, she was like, she said something about, okay, boys, or whatever. Yeah. And she was mainly smiling at you or whatever, but she made some statement of that nature. So she's just a concubine, just ready to be ravished. But she says, I'm a Christian. And I'm like, well, what about the law of Moses and the Torah? Okay, and I'm like, don't you follow out the Mosaic law? Today is a Shabbat day. What are you doing out here on Jamaica Avenue? And I couldn't even really get that far into that because she's basically didn't follow the Torah. So I said, well, you so-called unorthodox, as they call it. And she basically didn't even know what the hell that was. Only thing she knew was, I'm an Israeli woman. I'm a Jew. Okay? And then on top of that, she didn't even know who the prophet Daniel was, because we went to Revelation, the first chapter, because one thing that she did know, and what she swore she knew, okay, by her life, was that Christ was white. Okay, that's one thing that she said. She said, why do you put horns on Jesus' head? We got a sign that has horns on Caesar Borgia's, okay, which is who the world ignorantly believes and thinks is Christ, which really is an image of the beast. But she asked us, well, why do you have horn on Jesus' head? Okay, so here it is. I'm going into this breakdown of Christ being a so-called black man. And this is for you, that certain man out there, you know who I'm talking about. All right, because I told you, the bulk of these crackers, if not all of them, do not accept Christ as a black man. Okay, and the Lord brought this damn woman to my attention because I was just arguing with this fool over the internet about a week ago. All right, because he tried to state that, oh, well, it doesn't matter. Oh, but you know, that's not about salvation. Oh, that's a good test on their pride. Though, look, the crackers are proud. Esau is a proud man by nature. And that goes for the bulk of his nation. The so-called white man is proud. He's not going to accept Christ as a nigger. He's not going to accept, okay, the Jews as being niggers. Okay, because I'm saying the word nigger because that's what he's thinking in his mind. All of them was a bunch of Gary Zimmermans, if you ask me, and ask us. Yeah. Okay, so she was sure up and down that Christ is a white man. So I go into Revelation when John describes his feet. Okay, and basically, you know, we dealt with the hair of wool aspect. And then we went down to the color of Christ dealing with his feet. Now, it just so happened that the brother Masha and I, about a month or about 6 weeks earlier, we had took a few signs from Harlem. Mm-hmm. Okay? And we made a sign called the nigger woman syndrome for all you black and Hispanic men, many you black men out there that worship and serve the nigger woman. Right. And put her on a pedestal and make her as your queen and your goddess. Okay? Instead of dealing with the word of the Lord as it is written and making Christ your head. Right. Okay?
So-called Israelites out there.
Right, you got Israelites out there that have that same effeminate nigger woman worshiping spirit. So we actually have a sign, okay, that goes into the fact that when you worship the nigger woman, that goes into the Queen of Heaven in Jeremiah, okay, and that woman worshiping spirit was also dealt with by Paul, okay, with the in Acts, the book of Acts, when you had Israelites as well as Gentiles serving Diana, okay, and they built a temple for her. Okay, and called her a goddess. I mean, that woman worshiping a feminine spirit that's highly vibrant amongst this effeminate queendom, not kingdom, but queendom. All right, so we made a sign with the black man on his knees, okay, just like this, and he has the earth on his back, and you got the skull-headed nigger woman looking down at him. Right. Okay, like that's not good enough, and that's how it is with a lot of you black men. You like it tells you in 1 Ezra the 4th chapter, you work and slave for the damn nigger woman, man. Okay, or women in general, all right? And you become servants for their sakes, like the scripture said. And then but to get to the point, we have another sign in which the brother, he redid the sign much better than what I did, and it's brought more attention from the people looking at it. And we've been able to edify with that sign. So we even had one sister, a couple of Negro women actually agreed. Okay, one of them, the very last one, kind of like gave us a back and forth contest first, but eventually, you know, we had to shut that down, and then eventually she saw what we were trying to say. You understand? And even amongst the Gentiles, they understood as well. But there's a sign that the brother had in which it shows the black woman's feet. Okay, and you got some simple bald-headed nigger, okay, on his knees kissing it. You don't see the woman, but you see the nigger with a bald head and no beard, looking effeminate as hell with his damn bubble lips, kissing, okay, the Negro woman's feet. We have that sign, that depiction, okay, right? But we went into the book of Revelations, the first chapter, to show you when John described Christ's feet, he said like it was like unto brass as if it burned in a furnace, and we took out our key. Okay, we have a key that's made of brass. And we asked the woman, what is the color of this brass? And she admitted it was brown. That's all right. So if you take this and you put some fire on it, is it going to get darker or lighter? And she didn't even want to answer that. She didn't want to answer that. All right. And the key actually was a little bit lighter than the Negro woman's feet that we had on our sign. So I said, yeah, and if you was to put some flame on it, like a match or a lighter, that part would get dark first, okay? And then you will see that it will be somewhat the color of this foot right here. But if you left that flame on that part, it will actually even get darker than the color of this foot. So that goes to show you that Christ was a black man. He was a so-called brown-skinned man, or very dark-skinned man. All right, so this is not Jesus. All right, which is the point of what I was telling her and the point of what we telling y'all. As many other Israelite brothers out there teach out there in the highways and byways, and when they make their videos, etc. Christ was a black man. He was a Negro. He was a nigger. Okay, bottom line. Okay, he was a nigger. All right, we're going to say it like that for you crackers out there that are hating. And you cooner like Coon Sambo, damn Sanford and Son, damn Monkey Shine, orangutan, Vaseline face, Louis Armstrong, and the Cotton Club type niggas. You guys, okay, will swear up and down that doesn't matter. But the Bible says they that worship me must worship me in spirit and in truth. All right, the bottom line is Jeremiah 16, chapter 19, verse. It says that the Gentiles will come from the four corners of the earth and stay in the midst, that surely our fathers have inherited lies and things of vanity and things that cannot save and deliver us, which deals with all these religions. And part of that religion represents Catholicism. Okay, now around our way, over this weekend, the Lord killed a Manassite family, okay, in the Bronx, by the Bronx Zoo. All right, there was a minivan had flipped over and it killed every single person over there by the Bronx River Parkway. It killed every single person in that minivan, which was 7 people from the Dominican Republic. And we teaching that the Dominicans of native Indian descent, the native Dominicans or Manassites, okay, according to the Bible. And the Dominicans of Negro descent, they're Simeonites. So these are all native Indians. You could tell by their look. They look different than the Negro Dominicans on that island. So they showed some of their family members crying and weeping. The husband saying, oh, I don't want to live anymore because my family is dead. My wife, my kids are gone. But they were all just celebrating communion. Okay, communion is a Roman Catholic type of deity or a way of doing things. Okay, when you allow these Catholics, it's about it's a practice. They call it taking communion. Okay, and you know a lot of these so-called Hispanics, especially that's dealing with that Roman Catholic doctrine and the Roman Catholic practices, they worship that white image of Christ. Yep. Okay, in other words, they have the image of the beast. They got the mark on their forehead, okay, and meaning in their mind. Not talking about an RFID chip. Still teaching against that to this day, that the mark of the beast is not talking about a radio frequency identification chip. But anyways, moving on forward from that to the point more for, this Hispanic family had the image of the beast, and all you could think about was Blanco, Esto Cristo Blanco. Yes. That religion that the Spaniards brought to the islands, such as Hispaniola, the Dominican Republic, for example, and they pushed that Catholic doctrine heavily into the minds of the Hispanics, which are of the 10 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. And yes, we're still teaching that, because you got a lot of these men out here that want to love the nigger woman so much that they don't want to see no other woman exalted over her, and it goes so far as into their teachings of denying that the Hispanic and Native American women are Israelites. Okay, yes, it's gotten that disgusting, because a lot of these men that are into the nigger woman worship in spirit, a lot of these men, are a quantity portion of them, they don't accept the Hispanics as Israelites. Right. They don't do that. And when they speak of Israelite sisters, they're thinking of the nigger woman in their mind. Yeah. Okay, so the Lord made an example this weekend showing you that he's against that white image of Christ. But then the Lord also says, although Israel be like as the sand of the sea, only a remnant shall return. Because this is not just a Negro thing, okay? Because right before we broke down, the Lord brought in a Hispanic family. It was just basically the man, wife, and his kid, and they was from Guatemala, okay, where the Mayans were. So we teaching that according to the Bible, the native Indians of Mayan descent of Central America from the tribe of Zebulon. And you got these jackasses out there that teaching that the Zebulonites are of African descent. Okay, all because they want to worship the nigger woman. Yeah, okay. You got these madmen out there that's teaching that Zebulon, when it says Zebulon's borders from Tyre to Zidon, that's talking about over there in the land in Africa. Mm-hmm. And Tyre and Zidon is not even in Africa. Okay, there's dumbasses. That goes to show you what your mind state is at. It has nothing to do with Africa. Okay, when you get the understanding of what that prophecy fulfilled. And Tyre and Zidon, like we said, is not in Africa. That's going into Asia Minor. We get the understanding of that. But here it is, you had Zebulonites there, and when they saw the image of white image of Christ there, all right, and I was able to teach them, okay, with a little bit of Paquito Spanish, and him knowing Paquito English, okay, we was able to communicate. We handed him a fly, he got the understanding, and he looked at that sign and said, no, Christ did not look like that. He said, that's Catholics believe that. That's what he said. Okay, he said Catholic believe that. He was like, no, Eso Cristo. He said like this, and he was like a little bit lighter